How on earth did you discover this gold mine? This is insane, bro, because the reason why I think this is insane is because we often see the opportunities that are glorified.
Yeah.
Like Arvind sir spoke about Zomato, Swiggy, UPI, content creation.
Yeah.
All of these things are seen as massive opportunities.
Yeah.
And Nikhil Kamath often says that the most amount of money can be made with boring businesses. That is why he's made a lot of money. But tell me something. Today you generate 2,400 crores in revenue. When did you start?
We started in 2011.
2011. So you've been operating this company for about 14 years, and today you're generating 2,400 crores in revenue. How on earth did you discover the demand for smart meters in 2011?
I still remember when I was doing my engineering in Bangalore. So we stayed in a flat. Three of us, we stayed in a flat, and we used to get our pocket money every month, well in time. But the least priority was given to paying the energy bills. So we used to apportion to pay off the internet bill. I think so the internet bill used to come, the priority was way higher than the energy bill. And then someone from Bescom, that was the Discom in Bangalore, used to come at the end of the month, disconnect your power supply and go back. And we used to come back from college and realize, oh, there's no power and we didn't pay for it. And we used to just collect the money within a matter of minutes. So there was, the willingness to pay was always there. It was just that the priority was low because you could afford to do that, right? And when that happens, we used to go somewhere, get the linemen to pay them, do whatever it takes and reinstate the power, right? And I still remember that led me to search if it's happening with us, how many consumers are facing this particular piece, or what is the default rate of a consumer, or what is the willful defaulters, you can say. And the number astonished me. I still remember, just to be on the conservative side and on the higher side, 92 or 93% of the energy that reaches the consumer is billed. So balance gets lost. And out of the billed, only 94 or 95% is collected. So balance again gets lost. So as I said, right, in the pipeline, there are multiple leakages. It's just not one.
So you just discovered that there were a lot of boys like yourself who were not paying electricity bills. So the discoms might be facing a problem collecting these bills. So you wanted to find an efficient way for them to collect money from boys.
I still remember back in 2011, right? I was in my 4th year of college. We were still talking about what my grandfather used to talk about: electricity, food, waste. These were the rudimentary issues that we were talking about. Whereas as a kid in a college, we were talking about smartphones. We were talking about internet coming in, 2G, 3G, 4G. But the basic pieces were just not there in place. And as you said, right, glamorous industry do seek all the attention and get best of the minds to work on it. But the power sector is the backbone of anything and everything. And it takes time to build something like this. It took us 13 to 14 years to scale to where we are. But now the trajectory is something like a hockey stick. Just recently, yesterday, I read an article by Elon Musk who says that real competition to his AI model, the Grok, is not OpenAI, it's not Google. It is China. And China because of two reasons. One, because of the chips, the capability and ability to manufacture advanced chips, the manufacturing competency that they have. And second is the energy, the abundance of energy. AI just needs energy to function. And we are entering an era where everything and anything is touched by AI. So that is where the energy plays an important role in anything and everything that we do, in the nation building, in the economy, or every company that is there.
Got it. So Ayush, like I said, you're generating 2,400 crores in revenue by making smart meters. Help me understand, how did you spot this gap at the macro level? At the micro level, you mentioned that you did not pay the electricity bills, because of which you discovered a gap. Now, at the macro level, how did you take this company forward, and how did you anticipate this growth? Or did you even anticipate this growth?
See, we started in 2011. We realized the energy demand in the country is going to increase like anything. There was definitely an aspirational growth that was driving the demand, and more than that, industrialization and everything. And we've been just discussing how energy is the key, right? So one, we were bullish on saying that the energy demand is going to increase. Second, the sector was plagued with inefficiencies, right? With every unit sold, if you're or every rupee of energy that you sell, if you lose 1 rupee, so imagine when you start selling 100 rupee worth of energy, you start making losses of 100 rupee, right? So that's the second piece that we spotted. Uh, we realized there's a massive modernization that is required to support this, and that is what gave birth to Kimble.
Got it.
Yeah.
What exactly is a smart meter and how is it different from a conventional meter?
See, the dumb meters have always been there, right? The challenge with the dumb meter is the information which it's recording is just not accessible anywhere in the world. You have to physically access that particular device and download the data. Now imagine in India, a country like India, right, which has 50 crore consumers by 2030. Human physically going and accessing and downloading the data is next to impossible.
Yeah.
So whereas a smart meter has two key pieces. One, whatever information is recording, it can relay that information to a remote location, to any cloud. On your mobile phone, you can access that data. That is how it is, right? Second critical piece is that it can regulate your demand. It can switch off your load. It can power on, again, initiate your load. More than that, it can somewhere stabilize, saying that you cannot draw more than 5 kilowatt, you cannot draw more than 6 kilowatt. So this is what a smart meter does.
Got it.
And third critical piece over here is uh, the measurement is way more efficient than what it was done in the traditional meters, right? See, generally, if you look at any of the device that you procure, right? So let's say if you buy a mobile phone, you put a mobile cover to it, you put a screen laminate on top of it, because you want that device to last. Whereas the consumer behavior with a energy meter or with a smart meter is that the device should stop recording from tomorrow. So the first thing that a consumer gets to know when they interact with me, that we do smart metering, the first thing that they want to know is how do they stop a smart meter? How do they reduce their energy bill by the smart meter not functioning? So the meters are designed in such a way that they're more efficient, they record the energy better, and they're actually immune towards the consumer tampering. So this is where the smart meter comes in.
Got it. So after making these meters, who did you go and sell this to?
We sell this to discoms. In Delhi, we have Tata Power and BSES as the discom. So they are our customers.
When you sell this to discoms, they then go and install these meters at the customer's house?
Most of the discoms in the country are government owned. 95% of the discoms in the country are public sectors, right? Now the government realized that it is impossible for them, for the discom people, and for them to roll out such a massive operation in time, right? We are talking about 100% replacement. This massive activity has never been done anywhere in the world. So what they did was they called the intermediary in between. Smart meters come in with different components and they together solve a problem of the customer, which is better revenue, better collection, better efficiency, right? These components are, one is the smart meter, which is the measurement box. Second is the connectivity, getting the data online. And third is application running on the cloud, which is processing the data and converting into information. These three together, they form a solution. They actually address your problem. You buy or any of the best component, a single component not interacting well together or not integrated well together will have zero impact. So here, what they did was they said, I need an integrator in between. I need the integrator to select the three different components, deploy it on ground, and then run it for life. This is where a company like contracting companies like Tata Power, Adani Power, or Nagarjuna Construction Company, Monte Carlo, these are the companies they come in. They win the contract from the distribution company, and then we supply it to them.
Got it. How can it regulate the demand and supply? Because by deploying a smart meter, you can definitely measure efficiency. I'm able to envision how will the calculation be more accurate as compared to the existing meters. But how will the regulation happen? How will you prompt me to stop charging my car?
So what I can do is I can regulate the saying that, okay, the charges are in kilowatts, right? Let's say your normal demand of an AC and a light may be 3 kilowatt. The charger puts a additional load of 3 kilowatt. So I can put a ceiling of saying that you will just draw 3 kilowatt for this period of time. As soon as your energy goes above that, your electricity completely will be cut off.
But wouldn't that require my permission?
Yes. So obviously you need to participate in programs like this. And what is happening is, see, you will be incentivized to participate over here. Okay. And your tariff will go down eventually.
Can you explain?
So what will happen is, I'll give you again an example in Maharashtra, right? So in Maharashtra, the chief minister has come up with a fantastic program where he's saying that the consumer will have a different tariff for solar hours and a different tariff for non-solar hours. So this is called time of use billing, right?
Time of
use billing.
Okay.
So eventually, the consumer will start charging their vehicles during the solar hours, right? You'll wash your clothes during the solar hours, and eventually your bill will reduce. So this is how playing with the demand and supply eventually reduces your energy cost. So here I'll come as a utility, maybe over here as a Mahadiscom. I'll come to you and Ganesh. I'll say, Ganesh, if you participate in a demand response program, whenever there's crisis, right? I want you to reduce your load. I want you to reduce your load maybe by 20%, 30%. And you can do that because these are the auxiliary loads or supply that you have, which you can always do, right? If you do that, I'll give you a rebate of 20% over your total bill. See, because the utility, when there's crisis, when the power plant from Kutch didn't supply, when they have to go to a trader like a IEC to buy, they buy the power which is generally available at 2 rupee or 3 rupee at maybe 15 rupee, at maybe even 20 rupee. Whereas as a consumer, we will be paying only around 6 to 7 rupee. So that is where for them, for you to cut down regulate your demand will eventually reduce the overall power cost.
Here, one question that I had, Ayush, is that when it comes to a poor consumer, for them, this incentive means a lot, right? They can actually change their habits just so that they can have these incentives. But as you go to the top of the pyramid, the incentive is not lucrative enough. For example, if you tell me that I will save 20% of my electricity bill if I don't charge my car, I will never listen to you, right? So, isn't this in a way controlling the behavior of the consumer at the bottom of the pyramid while giving all the liberty in the world to the people at the top of the pyramid? Because as they say, fine is nothing but the amount of money that you pay to commit the crime.
Interesting.
Right? So here you're essentially telling me that instead of the fine, incentive is just a better word for a fine. Because what you're essentially doing is that you're changing the pricing structure in such a way that instead of saying that I will take money from you, you're saying that I will take less money from you if you do a certain thing a certain way. Right? So don't you think that is an injustice being done to the people at the bottom of the pyramid?
See, again, if you look at the country, right, today, I think so 90% of the users sit in that pyramid, right? If you're able to reduce the cost by whatever it is, and by getting the consumer to participate in that particular program, that is fantastic. And over there, 20%, 30% matters a lot. And it is just not 20%, 30% of today's cost. The cost is increasing because the behavior trend is changing, right? Today, the EVs, the two-wheeler, three-wheeler, or four-wheelers, whatever they have, they're going to be charged from the grid. Right now, that percentage of the money is spent on petrol or diesel or something like that. So the bill is going to increase, and over there, the 20-30% matters immensely.
Got it. But EVs are extremely costly. And B, if you look at the behavioral pattern of consumption at the bottom of the pyramid, it's usually only for necessary consumption. It's used for fans and not ACs. It's used to watch TV, which the poor consumer watches barely for an hour, right? It's used for charging your phone, or it's used for studying. And if you tell them that if you consume less power or if you consume power at a certain time, don't you think the father of the house is going to care more about the electricity bill than the child who's studying under the fan?
So a couple of things over here. Again, one, I will link it to the PM Surya Ghar Yojana that we have, right? The Prime Minister of the country, which has a very ambitious goal of saying that 1 crore household will have a solar panel on their rooftop. Now, interestingly, for certain set of consumers, right? Just from being consumers, you can become a prosumer or you can become a producer. What do you mean by producer is, I am a generator now. I am producing power and I can sell it to the grid. I can sell it to my peer. This is what Arvind sir, when he mentioned that Nandan Nilekani, right, is saying, and he's been gotten by the government of saying that let's create an Indian energy stack And that can be India's next UPI movement.
Got it.
Where Indian energy stack means every device will start communicating in a universal method, and these consumers can start trading energy. So let's say when I have extra power, I can just give it to you, Ganesh, and I can sell it to you, and you can pay me. So instead of just being a consumer of power, I can start earning money out of it by producing and selling.
Got it. So what you're saying is that we will not just change the way people use power, but we'll also enable people to produce more power,
Yes.
because of which they won't be constrained.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Ayush, whom should I approach? Let's say I have a solution for this. Whom should I approach?
Utilities today are hungry for solutions like this. Today,
Okay.
the new age utilities like Tata Power, like Adani, they're waiting for someone to come in and offer them something.
Can a youngster come and do this at Kimble?
Definitely yes. The journey that you were talking about, right? From 2011, from a 10 lakh revenue company to a 2400 crore company, right? This has been done because of the people that we have. So this company truly believes in people. The whole culture that we have a culture of saying that there's a culture of absolute trust and candor. We believe in saying that there's no rules, and we mean it. Today, any individual, so there's no age bias in this organization. I think me being so young, that today on a table, a 23-year-old kid's voice and a 50-year-old voice has the same weightage. So that's one beautiful thing that we have done over here. Another thing to look at, see, today if I want to buy equipment, if I want to allocate a budget, and whatever the amount may be, I'm scared of saying that in front of my investors, but whatever that amount may be, whether it is 10 lakh, 1 crore, 50 crore, if you're aligned towards the company's goal, if you're aligned towards the company vision, you don't need any approval. So that is the kind of culture that we have built. There is zero attendance over here. There is zero expense policy. We just have a book of trust. You need to align yourself with that. So what do we believe is the problems this energy transition is throwing at you, it is something new. These problems was just not there yesterday. Yesterday we were not talking about solar, right? These problems have come up now. So you need newer solutions. So this is where agility matters. This is where innovation matters. And Kimble is a perfect platform for that. Kimble has built that platform where someone can just come in, think of a problem, think of a solution, and start running towards it.
That's amazing, man. So are you telling me that an intern can come into your company, identify a problem, and get a budget to build an enterprise within an enterprise to go and solve that problem?
Definitely yes. Very recently, we had 3 kids from IT Delhi and 3 from IT Bombay. They ended up building a solution which can be explosive, which can change the complete way the grid operates today. Again, young kids, they don't know anything. They're not bounded by any limitation, right? What they did was they worked very closely with the utility, with the DISCOM in the country. By just analyzing the data, they were able to map which transformer supplies power to which all consumers. This is one of the most difficult things. Generally, people go physically and map it. Okay, this is the transformer. The wire is going to Ganesh's house, the wire is going to Vivek's house, the wire is going to Arvind's house. So this transformer is supplying to these 3 houses. What they did was, using AI, they found a signature through which, with a 95% accuracy, they have been able to detect which consumer is connected to which transformer. Now, this particular simple solution can literally cut down the 2% losses to 0 overnight.
Wow.
So 2 lakh crore losses can go down to 0 because this enables certain functionality for the utility to be used, where they can pinpoint the leakages, where they can pinpoint the losses and plug it immediately.
Got it.
That is the power of this particular solution.
Understood. So the first opportunity lies in data analysis. The second and third opportunity lies in?
The second piece, we are all talking about EVs, and I think every other house has an EV today, right? For an EV, you don't go to a petrol pump. You go to a charging station. The electron that's flowing and charging, right? A simple app to unify all the chargers has massive potential, right? Just not that. Scheduling when to charge, when not to charge, is going to have massive potential. So vehicles, you need to think of vehicles as batteries, as moving batteries on the grid, which can be plugged in and plugged out as and when required. So the concept is called V2X or V2G, vehicle to grid. This particular domain is explosive. You can have hundreds of Kimbles just in this particular domain itself. Third one, I believe solar, right? Solar has, again, tremendous potential. Again, you have a solar park. There's a lot of analysis that you can do. You can work with the data to increase the yield of that particular asset. And it doesn't require any cost. So you put in hundreds of crores to put in that capex of solar plant, and maybe just with lakhs of rupees, you can increase the yield by percentages. So that is one. So PM Surya Ghar Yojana, where the Prime Minister's ambition is to put in 1 crore rooftop solar. Now these consumers becoming prosumers. So imagine Ganesh trading energy with Ayush in a real-time basis. You have excess energy, just like UPI. You Paytm me that energy, and I start using it. Now, this P2P trading, or how do I access my solar better? How do I feed it to the grid better? This particular opportunity, again, is tremendous. These are just 3 of the opportunities that's coming on top of my mind. There are hundreds of them like that.
Got it. Hi guys, if you loved watching this clip and if you want to do a deep dive into the podcast, we've mentioned the link in the description. So click that link, watch that podcast and take notes. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more clips.